Today, I'm here to express some thoughts regarding going within. And we all have the ability to understand the can of worms that we have about our past, but have we all done the dirty work of coming to terms with the worms themselves? So it's one thing to recognize that your traumas, your this, that, or the other, all condensed into the can of worms. We all understand. First step is to understand that we have a can of worms as our past. And with this, we may recognize, understand, and accept that can of worms. However, do we really pry open that can and scoop out the worms and analyze those in their precise detail? Oftentimes, I have found that we do not. And so this is a step-by-step guide on how to best do that while remaining sane and without being codependent on someone else or anything else to guide you along this process. I will first clarify and say that there's different levels to doing all of this. You can take it at the big picture and analyze your whole past as one can, or you can separate and divide everything into its own unique experience or person or circumstance or information and analyze it at the absolute smallest scale possible. I recommend doing a mix of both, and definitely doing both in total. Everything in your past builds to where you are now. So yes, you can analyze everything as its own unique and separate instance. However, it is important to put on that lens of the big picture and recognize how everything works together. First, we have to be open to the uncomfortable. By going within and uncovering all of those past traumas that have hurt us or brought about these emotions that we no longer wish to deal with. It is uncomfortable, and yet it is of utmost importance. And so with this, you can train yourself. Instead of laying down, watching Netflix all day, or going on your phone and passively scrolling on social media, how about you stand up, you start moving your body, challenge yourself, learn a new skill, experience new social groups, try anything that is going to grow you beyond your perceived comfort zone. Only you know what it is that you truly fear. What brings about states of procrastination, where you don't want to go down that route, but you know that it is for the best. Whatever that is, you can begin doing that step by step, day in and day out, and before you know it, you'll be more comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that will help you when you go within. If you can handle it physically, by working out, or going on a run, or taking an ice bath, or what have you, then you can definitely handle it when you close your eyes and you simply recall memories. So we have now began the never-ending journey of finding comfort in the uncomfortable. And now, step number 2 is to understand what part of our past are we going to come to terms with first. But recognize there's 2 techniques here. There's the door in the face technique, and there is the foot in the door technique. Foot in the door, you can start small and work your way up big. Or, door in the face, you can start with the biggest trauma that you have, and then everything else will seem easy from there. My suggestion is to not be passive in this process. Maybe you are going about a yoga routine that is dedicated towards having isolated time to bring these memories to the surface, but go into it with a purpose. Have the intention of recognizing which memories, which thoughts you want to dwell upon. Oftentimes you may find yourself stretching and being hit with different traumas or past experiences or memories of some kind that you jump from one to the next and you never really go deep into a single one. And it feels good on the surface to say, oh, I went through all these different traumas, I've come to terms with so many all at once, but in reality, there's still so many layers that are deeply hidden below the surface that I am challenging you to go through. Step number 3 is gamification. Everyone loves games because everyone loves rewards. We are reinforcing ourselves to continue down this journey of taking on this traumatic past experiences or memories by rewarding ourselves, by changing our mindset to appreciate any progress that's being made. We are doing this because we see this as a never-ending journey, and simply being on the journey is the destination. So as long as we remain true to the intention that we originally set, which is uncovering these past underlying traumas that are affecting or at least playing a role in who we are today, we are doing so because we want to fully understand ourselves and build ourselves onto the trajectory that is most in harmony with our goals. So we gamify by setting time aside to express gratitude for ourselves and for everything else. Some of you may be used to having external rewards, anything that brings pleasure, like money, like candy, anything. However, The goal here is to find pleasure, to find reward in simply feeling the states of bliss that arise when we uncover all of this that we're digging up and understanding. By finding intrinsic motivation and intrinsic pleasure from being a part of the journey itself, we are both understanding and doing the dirty work about ourselves, and we're also feeling a reward. We're both feeling a reward and a deep sense of gratification from simply doing this work. So let's zero in on what exactly is going on in our minds when we recall a past traumatic experience, or person, or information, or environment. What we do is this. We've recognized not only the experience itself, but the pairings that it has to other people, environments, circumstances, and information. And with this, it's time to understand. Understand what was our thought process. What brought our thought process to be what it was in the moment? What was the perspective of others? Were we the victim? Or were we the aggressor? Was there really anyone at fault? Is there ever anyone really at fault? These are questions that we can begin to ponder as we try to encapsulate all details of the person, environment, circumstance, or information. And with this profound level of understanding comes acceptance. Once we can understand analytically what it was that happened and how others' perspectives might have played a significant role that otherwise were never recognized, we can understand ourselves, we can understand others, we can understand the complexity of life itself, and ultimately come to terms with it in a balanced nature. By accepting our past, it is easy, or at least easier, to accept the present moment. We can go down this process of recognition, of understanding, and of acceptance in the moment, so that we're not experiencing these external stimuli, pushing them into the back of our mind, then having to do these active recall steps, as I've just described. The whole goal is to live autotelically. As we are able to come to terms actively in the present moment, we can be more selective over the external stimuli that we choose to surround ourselves with and be influenced by. And with this, we can be selective for anything that is in harmony with our goals. I will conclude by saying this, that everything boils back down to setting goals, big and small, and achieving them from a place of wholeness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.